Good morning and welcome to Buddha's in Your Landfill, or Buddhism Plain and Simple. Although I really don't talk a lot about Buddhism, but what I'm saying I hope is plain and simple. And so let's create a story right here this morning. You can see these gold buttons. I just went upstairs. Well, let me tell the story. Okay, so yesterday a friend of mine who's from Iran had a little bag of gold buttons that were the gold buttons that the Shah of Iran once wore. You know, like little gold buttons like that. And he wanted to get them shined up. And so I kind of like my imagination went off. Geez, the Shah is like the emperor, the king of Persia, you know. And then I described, you know, when you look at a emperor, particularly back in the Napoleon times, or you look at a naval officer, they wear gold on their shoulders. Their buttons are gold. Their sword has a gold hilt to it, and on the brim of their hat is dripping with gold. Why? It's like they were standing under the sun god, the golden orb, and he dripped his gold on his son, on his beloved son. And so it sticks to the gold where the sunlight touched it. I thought that was such a beautiful, because I remember my father, who was a naval officer, and I've got his sword in there, and it does have a gold tassel on the hilt where the gold dripped on it when it fell from the father. And he said that when a naval officer, a senior naval officer in a foreign port, is the direct emissary of the President of the United States. Now that's in a social or historical context, but in a mythic context, each of us is the Son of God, who is the direct emissary of God on earth, you see. But we're lost. We're wandering in this labyrinth of history and time, and we can't find our Son God. And the buttons have fallen from our clothes, and they're just worldly buttons. And so everything is made from the world. Nothing comes from the Son. And then one day, you find, and this is what I did. So I went upstairs just a little while ago and says, wait a minute. I've got some gold buttons from my father. So I went up in my drawer and I dug deep into it and I came up with these. There they are. The gold buttons from my father, the sun god. You see. And they were here all the time. And I had lost them. I had forgotten about them. And so then I wrote this story. Well, I'm telling you the story now. I'm writing it now. I don't know how it's going to come out. But I remember now my father, the son, and his gift to me. And the buttons are kind of like, remember me, son. And here I am with the Father, my Son God, and he gives me these buttons to pull up when I need them. And I look down below me, there's a shadow of me on the ground. There's a shadow. We all have a shadow in the world. What is that shadow? The shadow is the experience of the labyrinth. And what is the labyrinth? It's history. Time. We wander in time. And what is the labyrinth? What is fate? Well, fate is when the future comes at us, and we come at the future, we come with our past, our good intentions. We meet the future with our good intentions. I'm a good son. I'm remembering the Father. But I'm caught in this labyrinth, you know. I get stuck. I get caught in this Groundhog Day. And I make the wrong choices, and I get punished, and I got to go see the judge. And I say, wait, Lord, deliver me from this labyrinth, you see. Deliver me from this Groundhog Day of recurring emotional patterns. I think I'm free and I'm stuck again. Just when I think I'm out, I'm back in. How do I get out of this shadow? It's because I am not seeing with enough light. You see, the sun god is light. The sun god, when the sun is out and directly overhead, there's no shadows. There's no karma. There's no labyrinth. Because all the shadows are gone. So what is the shadow? The shadow is, the future is a projection of my own light onto the future, and the future is myself coming at me. So all of my past deeds, all of my unconscious deeds, all of my mistakes and errors and faults and wrong decisions, all coming from unconsciousness, all coming from the shadows, are coming at me from the future, disguised like enemies, disguised like chance, disguised like some deep state or malevolent force or the devil, you see. It's all coming at me. And like a Don Quixote, I get on my steed and I charge the enemies coming at me. I charge the world. I'm going to defeat you. I'm going to make you whole again. I'm going to fix myself and the world, you see. And I'm going to fight you. And I draw my sword. And I fight this knight, this enemy. And he upseats me. He knocks me off my horse. Might even kill me. And I'm lying in the mud, feeling loathing. Oh, I failed again. My father would be displeased. But he's not displeased. He hasn't got anything to do with it. The sun just shines. The sun just drops his light on you directly overhead. Boom. And there are no shadows in the sunlight, in the direct sunlight. But because I fail to remember my father, you see, I see shadows. I see the future. I see the future coming at me as being against me, as being an obstacle, when all the time it's just my shadow projected onto it. It's just my shadow projecting onto it. Because I think my father, I don't know that the sun is shining behind me. All the time, my father is shining behind me like the sun. But because I don't turn and see him, because I don't think he's here, my own light, my own father projects me into the future and comes at me like an evil knight, you see, an enemy. You see that? It's a great image. You see that? And so we fight the world. We resist the world. We complain. We feel I'm the victim of the world. Why is this curse given to me? Why is this fate given me? Why do I have to bear this cross? Why me, Father? And all the time, the Father just shines. And me in my ignorance, you see, having forgotten that I'm the son of the Son, suffers in the labyrinth of life. But then there are moments when I discover my buttons, when I remember my Father, and that I am the Father, I am the light. That the Father, just as Jesus said, I and the Father are one. You and the light are one. And when you are in those moments of realization, of vision, of unity, in Zen it's Satori, or Kensho, or resurrection, whatever context you want to put it in, it's a realization that you and the light are one. You and the Father are one. That you are the son or daughter of the Sun God. And then there are no more shadows. And suddenly, your golden buttons just pop up on your clothes. They've been there all along. They've always been there. Isn't that a good story? Thanks for dropping in.